at 6:30 PM on Wednesday, September the 3rd, 2025. And I'd like to begin the Town of Lake City Board regular workshop. Our first item this evening is to review the final draft of ordinance 2025-4, code enforcement and administrative citation.
Yep, so this is an action item tonight. It's the ordinance that we've discussed multiple times now. It does lay out a process for noticing and issuing administrative citations.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the notice of violation, the initial one would be about 30 days, but then that can be extended up to 180 days to give people time to comply with the code. And then after that, that's when the administrative citations start kicking in. The judge did agree to be our hearing officer. And so that is a good thing since we're already paying them, but we're not really going to court. And yeah, I just, did y'all have any questions or concerns about it?
And just a clarification, because I was incorrect when I said that we couldn't cite misdemeanors, because obviously we can, because I read the code. But we don't, our penalties do not include jail, because we don't want to pay for somebody to be in jail, right?
Yeah.
And they are dictated, the fines are dictated in section 1-14.
Correct.
Of the Lake City Municipal Code. So and that last, the final, straw would be a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, I mean, and ultimately, we would be able to, if it went unpaid, we'd be able to put a lien on the property. Yeah, and then also, we could be issuing another citation every 7 days, if that helped.
Or if they provide false information or they refuse, yeah.
Right,
And there's a sliding scale on multiple offenses.
right.
Starts off, I think, 150.
Actually, these fines go up to like 2,600 and something.
Yeah, for this, the max fine is $999 for a code
Is that in
violation.
here?
Yeah, it's in here under penalties assessed.
Oh, I thought, okay.
And I take it, Dan, you blessed this, you wrote it?
Yeah, I worked through this with Lex. I'm happy to make any changes you guys want and answer any questions, but yeah, I do believe this has worked in other municipalities. We adapted it to fit you guys.
It looks good.
Yep.
I didn't even find a typo, Dan, wow.
Are you sure you read it then?
I did.
Yep. Well, my only comment is, and I mentioned it to Lex, is that when this goes into effect, I would like them to make sure that there's a system so it's all done evenly across the board. So whoever's doing it, they follow the steps so that we don't have any type of selective enforcement type issues or anything like that. It needs to be handled the same way by each person.
I completely agree with that statement. I would like to add, though, that I have been really chewing on the presentations that you have done on this topic, and a number of times you've stated that we'll go block by block, and I think that that is a mistake myself. I think we should start, we're not selectively enforcing. We will get to everyone, but we should start with the worst offenders. That's all.
Okay, I'm going to give time for staff and to discuss that more and come up with a plan. I'm planning for the newsletter for September to be about code enforcement, kind of.
I just don't want it to be like we're ignoring some like glaring
Egregious.
egregious is what I just wrote down. And something glaring and picking on grandma because, her yard is untidy or whatever.
Okay.
That's all.
We'll give it some more
I
thought.
think where they were going with that, Jody, was that we were trying to eliminate people being able to say,
I completely understand
you're
that.
picking on
And,
us.
and as I say, I do think everyone should be gotten to, but I don't see any reason why we should just start one corner and go to the next. We should start with people who have flaunted our codes for years and then start working on other people and the issues that they have.
And that's gonna cost you a little bit more work if we went that way, because you would have to like document.
We're gonna have to document it all anyway.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah,
But this is gonna give us plenty of time to really come up with a
Okay.
plan,
okay,
because we're not gonna push hard without messaging and stuff until like March or April.
Okay,
Springtime.
that's great. I just wanted to,
Yeah.
because I've been chewing on it.
Yeah.
So it starts out with just initial fee of $150.
No, it starts out with a notice that ultimately can
Yeah.
give you up to 180 days, and then the first citation is 150.
And then 500 for the second one with administrative citation.
Yeah.
And then 999 for the third.
And then so on 999 for each one after that.
And then 10% if there's like $200 for late fee and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's if it's a late, it could be assessed, it says may be accessed.
Okay, so that's
And-
what it could grow into.
Yes, and the 10% annually would be like on outstanding ones that have a lien, so.
yeah, it's on those.
So the beauty of this too, I understand what you're saying, the town is a total of 36 blocks. And I think the entire place would be driven through in one day,
Yeah,
and then with some follow-ups. So I don't think it'll come across, like
Okay, I just,
block one takes a month. No, I think
that,
would be
that
an
is
initial
exactly
stage.
what I was saying.
Yeah.
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 I appreciate that, and I think for tonight, it's just getting this in place,
yeah,
and then
This
their,
is great,
Yeah.
everything's great.
and the way they are gonna go about it, they will report back to us.
okay.
And they is Gabe and
Ultimately,
they-
staff through me and Gabe, yeah. Yeah.
So, like, would
And-
be
and
Gabe
Jamie.
and-
Yeah, I mean, they would be potentially doing code enforcement as well, and then, right, in our staff reports, it would be discussed. Yeah,
And I also, this is how this all kind of came to be, but the initial is the sheriff enforces our codes, and then the fire marshal came, and then Gabe. And this all came to be because when there's issues in the past, Gabe was too overwhelmed and too busy. And so there was discussion of, if there's things that apply to the town, then Lex should go to, if, it's not being handled by the uppers, then Lex would have that right, and then Jameson when it comes to public works issues.
right.
Streets and animals, yes.
Yeah. And so the whole point of it was kind of streamline the process
Right.
and get this done.
Alrighty.
Awesome,
Okay.
awesome.
All right, any other questions or comments on that? Hearing none, we will move on to discuss the county town housing IGA and rural resort designation. I've heard a little bit about this, I'm gonna let Lex and I believe,
Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah, she's up there.
Okay. Here's his,
Yeah, I'll let Michelle lead on this.
okay,
Well, thanks, Lex, and good evening, everyone. So when Proposition 123 was passed in 2022, that's the legislation that provided all of this money for housing. At the same time, each county in Colorado received a designation as either rural or urban or rural resort. Hinsdale County is currently designated as rural. The housing group has been discussing the possible benefits of having our status changed from rural to rural resort, which rural resort designation by itself does bring in some new opportunities for the funding of housing projects, but rural resort designation also would then subsequently allow us to apply for an increase in the area median income for Hinsdale County that would up the amount of money that folks could make to qualify for renting units or possibly buying under a deed restriction. I did a little poking around this afternoon after the commissioners meeting, and it appears to me that if Hinsdale County went in and petition to change the designation from rural to rural resort, that would automatically include the town of Lake City. What would not automatically include the town of Lake City is the next step, which would be petitioning for the change in the area median income. And that's the sample agreement that you see between the city of Leadville and Lake County in your packet. We will be talking more with our consultant team about pursuing rural resort designation, which seems easy and probably beneficial. Our consulting team will also then do what they call a high-level review of the data that they've collected in that housing demand study to see if it'd be worth our time and effort to try to increase the area median income for both Lake City and Hinsdale County. And again, if we decided to pursue that route, we would need an intergovernmental agreement between the town of Lake City and Hinsdale County to do that. The process for applying to change the designation from rural to rural resort is online. I couldn't get very far into it because I'm not an authorized person to actually apply for that. But it is something to think about. We will be hearing more about that from our consultant team. I don't know if we'll be talking about it tomorrow in our stakeholders meeting, but we will definitely be talking about it again in our next, what we're calling bi-weekly meetings. And we have arranged our schedule so Commissioner Borchers can start participating in that process, which I think is going to be, extremely helpful. So really no action tonight, just kind of putting it out on the table is something you could probably look forward to seeing from us, is to work with Hinsdale County to change that designation. And then, based on what our consulting team comes up with, decide after that whether we want to petition to increase our area median income levels. That's really all I have to say. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer. Jody?
Michelle, can you explain to me the difference between rural and rural resorts? What makes us qualified to be rural resort?
It's based on several factors. One of them is the difference between the income of your workforce and the income of your more wealthy residents. Another one is you've got people commuting into the community. Another one is a need for workforce housing. I think, and there's one more that I'm not remembering right now, but rural resort designation by itself qualifies a community for 3 up to 4, 3 for sure, different funding opportunities that we would not have before, that would be automatically based on a higher AMI right out of the gate. That's a basic understanding of mine, just based on some, again, quick research that I did this afternoon. Christy and Lex and I met with Department of Housing folks a week or so ago and talked specifically about this. The Department of Housing people were very encouraging. They looked at our some of the statistics in our demand study and some other places where they could draw them, and they thought we were a natural fit for it, and definitely were encouraging us to think about pursuing that. Christy asked them directly if they saw any downside to applying for that designation, and they said no. But during the commissioners meeting this morning, it was suggested that we would reach out to other communities that already have that designation, like San Juan County, for example, which is Silverton, which is very much like us, to see if they've run across any snags or had any problems. But according to the Department of Housing folks, there's really no downside.
And kind of address that as well, Commissioner Borchers is with us. Correct me if I'm wrong, but numerous counties around us already have a designation.
Okay.
I can't remember either all of them.
Gunnison, Uray, San Juan.
We're kind of the one that does it.
Okay then, thank you.
Any other questions for Michelle? All right, thank you,
Thank you,
Michelle, for the
Michelle.
information. We'll be interested.
You're welcome.
Thank you. No other questions or comments on that, we will move on to our third item, discuss vacating alley between lots 1 to 11 and lots 22 through 32 on block 21. Those are our lots over there by the medical center, where they do this.
Right, and I just wanted to start the discussion, because sooner than later, we'll need Dan to draft an ordinance vacating that. It's one of the basic steps that has to be done, no matter what kind of, development we have there. So, I just wanted y'all to become aware of it. It'll probably end up being an action item and an ordinance here in the near future, and so I just wanted y'all to be aware of it.
I think we're kind of jumping the gun on this first. This is for the housing, right?
Correct.
The block by the medical center.
Right,
But if we were to vacate that alley, I think we should create some public access all along the river
okay.
that's needed to the public.
I mean, go ahead, Michelle.
Well, so public access obviously is going to be part of the design. The design team has made this specific request to vacate the alley so it's no longer a public right-of-way and can be used to actually put a building on. But there's going to have to be lots of adequate access into these units that will be across those lots anyway.
Well, in that same alley, is vacated this medical center building. It's not
Right.
that, those
Right.
lots. So it's not like going anywhere.
Right.
It's just vacating the rest of it.
But yeah, and.
Yes.
And it's not something happening right now, but Rex wanted to put that information out there as we move forward, it will need to be.
I just would think we should have an officially deeded public access along the river if we're gonna get rid of this alley. And you know the problems we already have with the part going by the medical center connected into the alley to the
Yeah.
north.
Well, there was a sidewalk,
And so I think, I really think we should consider having an officially deeded public access along the river.
Okay.
You wanted to look into it, because I remember in the past, it was an
Because
issue there.
you know, we don't know that those housing units will be public forever, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and we have to bring the whole site up out of the floodplain. So we'll keep that in mind as this is, as we
You know,
move along.
fishing is a big thing. And
So that trail that you're talking about, Henry, that's along the river has already been identified as an amenity and a great way to preserve public access along the river. I don't see that as being a problem in the final design. I think that's probably already anticipated.
So you don't see a problem with it being, publicly, officially deeded public access? When we vacate the alley to move the trailer,
It's
show,
all our land.
What?
It's all our land.
I know.
Yeah, so I think that the closer we get to like the final design, that we can talk about, the legal actions that might be needed to preserve that. But like I said, it's already been identified as an amenity and, a public access anyway. So I don't see a problem, Henry.
We've already had problems with that trail,
Right.
There's some history there, because I remember there was that citizen about going through the medical center, that trail would continue, and then that new home that got built. I don't believe that trail goes through there yet, I think it ends there, but I don't know.
No,
That's not how it was.
It's next to the alley in the next block.
They did have to keep that open.
Well, I don't have an issue with it at all, I agree with you, I think it should be open,
For sure.
Right.
Those new owners may be a little more open to moving that trail around, keeping the access.
We may not always own
Yeah, we'll see, and we'll keep that in mind.
Where did I see something about 8th Street? I mean,
It's on the
yeah,
plot.
is that already been abandoned?
No.
No,
But it's just basically the creek drainage there.
Creek drainage and where there's, the Lake City Auto has a bunch of those vehicles parked, that's all
On our property.
on our property.
Right, I heard that, I just didn't know, as we go through this process, if that's gonna stay that way. Because I think that little creek, it's not that big, but it could be part of that walk.
well, that
I don't think we're a nice little park area.
that right of way is actually now being looked at as a possible potential location for the water fill station. And there is quite a bit of property there. The northern boundary of the 8th Street right of way kind of lines up with the southern wall of the post office. So if you just step out there and kind of eyeball it, you can see that there's, you know, a substantial amount
Yeah.
that's town-owned property.
When we did a site inspection, we were doing that, we lined it up.
Mhm.
And it just, you know, it could be cleaned up as part of that development. And a nice little park area, you know, we're not looking to fill it in or anything like that.
Right.
I hate to interject here. Maybe I'm way off base because I haven't seen all the moving parts of this, but it sounds to me like there's multiple issues with lot lines and easements and all that. And maybe offline we could consider kind of a replat of that area to include all these changes in one swoop. Does that make sense or not really based on this project?
So in order for the design team to move forward, they need to have the assurance that the alley will be vacated. It is possible that we would be looking at a replat, Dan, of the entire site once the design is nearing completion. For comfort's sake, if nothing else, and it's still public, it's still the town's land. If the town would go ahead and vacate that alley now, and that if we could consider any kind of replatting or anything like that as the need arises, I think that would allow our design team to move forward in comfort.
It sounds like we need, this is something, initial step we need to take to secure this project.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
The only way to make sure there's public access along the river forever is to have officially deeded public access.
We're gonna look at it.
Trails or something.
All right.
Yeah, I would love to
Thank
see what was the, or what is currently that, sidewalk or path, be saved, you know, protected.
It's there
Which
right
I
now.
think is
Go
what
walk
the,
it.
it's there now, we can go walk it, and I wanna be able to do that forever and ever on that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else on that? Thank you, that's, as I said, it's very preliminary, but it is important for the project, to see how
Yeah.
that public access, doesn't sound like it's done the right way. I believe we're in agreement, and we're not going to block.
Thank
you.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Okay, and our final item, discuss the letter requesting extension of more housing, now grant expiration date from 2/28/26 to 12/31/26.
Yes.
Yeah, just, there'll be a letter most likely on the next meeting or the next couple meetings that y'all will approve. With the engineering, the design engineering of the housing development, we're not really, we don't plan to be done with that till the end of next year. So we just need to extend the deadline. I just want to get it over with so I don't forget.
Well, you mentioned it in the past meeting and everybody.
Okay.
All right, I think that's fine. Any other discussion on that? Well, that ends our workshop for this evening. It is 6:54. We can take a 6-minute break and actually begin our meeting on time at 7 p.m.
All right. We'll be back. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It is 7:00 p.m. Wednesday, September the 3rd, 2025. And I would like to call to order our regular meeting. I'd like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Diane, would you lead us?
I will. I pledge allegiance to
To
the
the
flag
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Bruce,
Here.
Kendall, Lindsay,
Here,
Winery,
Here.
Woods, Weast,
Here.
Roberts.
Here. Okay, approval of the agenda for our regular meeting. Any additions or revisions? None that I'm aware of.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda for our regular meeting, September 3rd, 2025.
I second.
Motion is second. Roll call vote.
Bruce,
Yes.
Lindsay,
yes.
Winery, Woods,
Yes.
Weast,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
That was not Woods.
Okay, our next item is swearing in of Christina Bowman as our town clerk.
We need somebody taking pictures. Okay.
All right, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Christina Bowman,
I, Christina
Bowman, do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and of the state of Colorado
and of the state of Colorado
and the town of Lake City codes and ordinances,
and the town of Lake City's codes and ordinances,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of the offices of
and I will faithfully perform the duties of the offices of
town clerk and treasurer upon which I am about to enter.
town clerk and treasurer upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We are blessed to have you.
Yes.
Thanks, Diana.
Cheers. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Oh, and we're gonna give her a frame for this.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank God.
Yeah.
All right. Our next item is the minutes from the August 20th meeting. Did you get a chance to review those? Any questions or comments in regards? Please.
Sorry.
Trustee Spellcheck, any?
No, I didn't look at them that closely though, I just have to admit that.
I looked through and based on my memory, they are correct.
Yes.
I would move to accept the minutes of the August 20th, 2025 meeting as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes,
Winery,
Yes.
Woods.
I wasn't there.
Oh, abstain. Weast,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. Okay, next is bills payable. We have a copy
Wow.
in front of you. I do believe this is close to a record, the lowest bills payable. Anybody have any questions or comments? in regards to these?
Why was Denison Country Times $818?
Was it $818?
That's what it says. That can't be right.
did we put ads in the Gunnison?
Yeah, we did it for the 150th. We had put it in for the Gunnison Country Times and then also the Gunnison Shopper.
Oh, the magazine.
Correct. So that's what that's for.
Wow.
The only other one that caught my eye, and I'm sure it's for good reason, but, wastewater treatment plant gets 3 different invoices from Visionary.
It was because there was like the installation of the internet, the installation of the phone, and then the Wi-Fi system there to make it interconnected.
So in the future, it'll be one monthly bill.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And then also with the VoIP, the voice IP phone, it's cheaper, and all in all, it's a better working system.
Right, okay. All right, any trustees have any other questions on Bill 6? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to pay the bills.
Motion to approve the pay bills for 9/3/2025 in the amount of $19,544.17.
Second.
Motion to second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Bruce,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Weist,
Yes.
and Roberts.
Yes. Next item is citizens' comment on matters not on the agenda. I notice we have a guest here this evening, Mr. Richard Moore is with us. You have something you'd like to share?
Yes, sir.
Could you
You have to come
come
up
to the hot
here,
seat?
sit in the hot seat, so the people on Zoom can hear and see you.
So, do I have to say my address and all that jazz?
No.
Okay, I thought I had to say my address and all that stuff.
No. Maybe just state your name.
Yeah, state your name and your address since you brought it up.
Yes, sir. Richard Moore, 721 Wildfire.
Thank you.
So, y'all know I work at the medical clinic. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I work in the back in one of the conference rooms, in the very back. And there's one window in that room. And I've worked there in that room for the last almost 2 years. Yesterday I did something I hadn't done pretty much ever. So I opened that window and the silence was deafening. What I'm saying is, many years back, I was sitting in one of y'all's seats, and I voted yes to the OHVs. And I thought it was the right thing. I still think it was the right thing. We debated what to do, how to do, when to do, where to do, what streets, what's not streets. And I think it was Rob that said, if we're gonna open it up, we've gotta open it up to everything. Because we couldn't figure out how SO would manage this street's on, this street isn't. I had a conversation with the neighbor a couple of weeks ago, and he's not for OHVs necessarily. I think he's fine with them if there's something that could be done. All that to say, if the vote was tomorrow, there's no way I would vote yes for OHVs. And if you're on the board and you want OHVs, you better put together a good plan, because I don't think people want it. And I just came to tell you all that. I'm gonna give you a heads up, because it's true. And if you wanna keep them, I think there's gotta be a rock solid plan with some very definite lines drawn. And, to me, it's right there at the brewery. That's all, that's the only street they can travel. Is that first? No, second. That's where I am, and, but if it was tomorrow and there wasn't a plan put together, I would say absolutely not. I do not want them in town, because I think too many people are impacted, that shouldn't be, and only a few people are benefited. And I'm glad they're benefiting. I don't hold that against the businesses. I want them to make as much money as they can. But, that's all.
Okay.
I know y'all will work on it. I know y'all will do a good job. Trust you, but man,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Appreciate you having the time. Okay, any other citizens have comments? Matters not on the agenda. Anybody on Zoom? Unmute yourself or show your face. Seeing none, we'll move on. Employee reports, first one, this evening, county engineer report, Joanne Bain.
Nice pictures, Joanne.
Yeah, were you gonna display them, or do you want me to walk through them?
Actually, they were pretty self-explanatory, I thought.
Yeah,
But they were
posted
pretty
in- They're
awesome.
posted in our packet.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got them. I mean, it looks good. Is it good?
Yeah, it's going pretty well.
Yay.
Hey, John, is there a third layer? So I saw the sand and then the felt and then the rubber membrane. Is there something that goes on top of the rubber?
No.
It's no rock or anything?
No. That's meant to be the surface. You don't want something, there's turbulence
Right.
with the air, and you don't want rock rolling on the liner. So everything we have to place on the liner, we're putting padding underneath it.
That felt stuff.
Yeah, the felt, there was a lot of leftover liner because to fit on the site, the pond is not rectangular with even corners. And so it tapers, and so there was a lot of leftover liner. And so we used some of the liner to hold up the bags.
And that'll probably just be discarded, not used for.
Yeah, I mean, there's some in the trash can, but, we've kept some of the scrap in case we have a problem. Ridgeway Valley took some of the scrap. Yeah. And there'll be a little less, but the shape of cell 1 is also a little awkward, so there'll be more leftovers that. Cell 2 is a rectangle.
Just for interest, I haven't worked with that stuff, but I know it's not
Oh, it's,
the final picture. It
It
looks
is,
great.
it is, I know.
It's exciting to see so much getting done.
I know, that looks so good.
Does it have like welded seams or? is
Yeah,
that how
there's
it's-
a seam, it was two 60-foot wide by 200-foot long pieces. And they have a machine that puts them together and welds them as they go. And then on the south corners, they had more bulging, it doesn't fit, it's a pretty rigid material, there's plenty of scrap, I don't want to stop by and see it. But it had bulges that didn't come out the first night, so they cut and tapered the seam to fit the corners.
This is another silly question, but that one of those final photos, those little, are those bags or weights just holding?
Yes, that's Sacrete.
Okay.
They brought in the pallet of Sacrete, they also brought in tubes that they fill with sand. And we had almost enough Sacrete, and now that we've got the modules sitting in there, we have enough Sacrete, so they're gonna pull the tubes and save them for the next time.
Does that sapwood stays there?
It gets wet,
And
it
it
hardens, the paper disintegrates over years, and it's just that,
Just weights that-
yeah. Paper,
Awesome.
Yeah, and then you got framing going in the building.
yep, So this is a lot deeper than our old reviews, isn't it? No. I guess I never saw the. You never saw the bottoms, yep. No, the concrete basin is actually deeper, and the two working cells were around 11 something, there was a 12. How deep is this? 12.
I see what Ken was saying, look at that photo, it looks great.
Yeah, I mean,
It's massive, yeah.
it's 14 feet deep from the top, but you gotta have 2 feet of freeboard. So they're basically the same as it was.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just, perspective, like the photo with all the guys down in there,
Yeah.
It makes them look tiny.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ethan and Jameson helped on the one picture. And you would not believe how excited Ethan was to get a chance to help on it. I mean, he just was on cloud nine. So,
That's awesome.
yep,
This is good. Now that concrete structure, we don't even know everything, but I'm just, yeah, so that's part of the inlet and outlet.
yeah, the concrete box, is on the north end, and that's the outlet. And it'll have you can see a pipe sticking out of it, and it'll have a manifold going across the 6-foot cover, going across the berm, the walls of the line. And there are, I don't know if you can see it, and they may not have been done when you took that picture. But they have straps welded onto the line to hold the pipe. And they should be able to fill it sometime next week.
Great.
They're waiting on some parts, and they need to do some finishing on the inside of that box, which they'll try to get done tomorrow, and then we'll retest that. And then once everything is on the floor where it belongs, we'll retest the whole thing.
Do you use river water for that, or?
We're gonna turn the dewatering, we're gonna discharging something like between 1/2 and 1,000,000 gallons a day in the dewatering. So we're gonna take the pipes that are going to the, discharging to the river right now and turn them into the pond. And then I think we will probably discharge about half of that and use that space to start draining the big pond. It's gonna take a long time to drain the big pond.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, like I mentioned, it's like wait, and now they're on it, it's moving quick.
Yeah, they got the biggest airheader, the air pipe has a manifold off of it, and they got most of that welded today. And we're waiting for the parts to, we're actually gonna have to do something temporary where we tie the old airline into the new airline. They can't get the valves we want, that are good for throttling, so they're gonna put in temporary gate valves probably tomorrow or Friday. And then they'll have to put the valve again, the butterfly valves are 22 weeks out. It's barely gonna come in time for them to be done in May. Things are,
I'm really liking the pictures instead of the words.
yeah, we'll try to do that. As I told Lex, it was faster, and,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, this is good. No.
And, the visualization makes a lot more sense to me
Right.
than reading the specifications.
yeah.
I think that's why they say a picture is
Worth
worth
a
a
thousand
thousand
words.
words.
Yeah.
And you guys are still welcome to come by anytime.
Thanks.
I'll stop by, I'd just like to see that membrane.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Any trustees have any other questions?
This one,
Any questions? Anybody in Zoom land? Well, thank you, Joanne.
you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, and next item, the sheriff's report that's in your packet. If you have any questions or comments on that, you can speak with Lex or the sheriff. Okay. Building official report. It's also in your packet. Any questions or comments on that? Any street permits. Issued in Monday. That's a boom for Lake City. Okay, no questions or comments on the village report? Next is the Park and Rec report. From Ben. Very quiet, no questions or comments on it, okay?
No, it was good.
Ready for dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, these guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean,
Always busy, I see them all at the original. We'll move on to the Public Works report, from Jameson. Once again, they're out there looking to work.
yeah, they did a lot of work on High Street. And they worked really hard on that drainage issue, and it was impressive, actually. I mean, they cleared a culvert that I don't think it's ever been cleared.
Mm.
Not so, and I've had that house since '99.
Yeah.
So,
Is that the one that is between the town and the county?
well, it actually,
On the
yeah,
north side?
it's on the north side, yeah,
Yeah, the county provided the culvert, the guys did the work.
yeah.
Yeah, I looked at it.
It's not down in the bend, but it's right in front of my house.
Okay.
It's actually goes underneath the driveway of the house, and that's up on the hill in front of me. Yeah. I mean, that was Marmotville,
Yeah.
you know?
They made it real deep by my shop there.
Yeah, thank goodness.
I'll probably drive into it for time.
Don't you do that. Don't you drive into it.
All right, any other questions or comments on that report? I'll warn you all, I don't know if it's City of Denison's or if it's a private road, but if you go by 6 Points, go slow.
Mm-hmm.
They have a pothole, like a bumper, it is so deep.
It is
And I
awful.
cannot believe there's not a sign
I
there.
talked to them about that yesterday,
You did?
and they just formed a citizens committee of all the property owners, and they deeded that street to the city. So now the city is supposed to come and fix it.
Well, it's horrific. I mean.
I'm surprised it wasn't the
busted an
city.
axle.
As an alley or something, but it wasn't?
Uh,
Wow. Yeah, it's bad. You have
That's
to,
good.
oh, yeah.
It was owned by all the property owners.
Ah.
They got together and deeded it to the city.
That's hilarious.
And I can believe it wasn't
So
built like that.
hopefully there'll be a change. Yeah, I told them I was glad I got the off-road package on my truck.
Yeah. Got bounced off the roof of the truck.
God.
Front end fell off. Okay, I didn't mean to go get the weeds there, but glad everybody's aware of it. Thanks. All right, next is the deputy clerk treasurer report. Now our clerk. I think Christina does a great job of her report. Explains it all.
Yep, we're getting good info.
Yeah, any questions or comments on that report? Hearing none, move on to town manager.
Yep.
Gus?
So I wanted to talk to the trustees and maybe about doing direct deposit for your checks so that we don't have old outstanding checks floating around. We wouldn't have to spend the money on checks either. Landon is a prime suspect, and but it would just make life easier. It'd be deposited into your account. We wouldn't have to cut checks that may or may not get cashed. So I actually got some ACH debit authorization forms here for you guys that I'm gonna, hopefully y'all will elect to participate in. Besides that, on Monday, Buckhorn Engineering will be here to do soil testing at the Med Center lots for the housing complex. So they'll be out there drilling soil and taking soil samples. On Tuesday, we have a CIRSA safety audit, Tuesday morning. Tomorrow in here from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the stakeholder housing strategy meeting, where they'll be discussing like potential solutions and tools for the housing crisis. And we did get awarded today a Region 10 mini grant for $10,000 for the playground. So we're a little bit closer to funding that. Thank you, Christy, for getting that submitted and applying for that. So our new website through Streamline actually has a meetings and agenda function through it that we're gonna move away from onboard, because the onboard subscription is $4,700, but if we already have it in Streamline and we can just send out notices through that, and then all the meeting documents and everything would just be on our website. So you know how like I send out the onboard notice to the public and it has a link? It'll be similar to that. You would have a link that you can access through your email. It would take you to the website where the agenda is posted. For the trustees, and then also we can have a public facing one that we're gonna sign up for Streamline's Doc Access. I don't know if y'all at the CML conference, Streamline's Doc Access software, which is like $3,600 a year. It makes every PDF that you upload to the website ADA accessible. It does an overlay tool, and so that you can read it, it becomes ADA accessible within a web browser. So if we move to using that and using our website for meetings, the staff wouldn't have to spend all the time attempting to make all the documents that we're sharing with the public ADA accessible. We just do it automatically. So we'll save some money, and we'll use the fuller functionality of our website, and then also get the doc access, which kind of eliminates the problem of us having to remediate PDFs. So I just want to let y'all know, because our onboard subscription will expire October 17th, and between now and then, I will be training myself on how to do that through the website, and probably do some test runs with one of the next couple meetings to make sure I understand how it works and it's working properly. Yep, and that's all I have.
I would just ask, you know, the way we get the onboard notification,
Uh-huh.
I think we should still notify all the trustees to look on that.
Yeah, okay.
With the heads up.
Yeah, I'll see. Yeah, I'll see how that notification works, and I'll figure out a system for that if it's not built in already. That's all I had.
Well, I just wanted to elbow Landon. The ACH thing isn't going in right now, Landon, so thanks for the donation, or you're gonna have to come to a meeting in person.
Oh, you got dinners on me.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, swing by the office and let's do the ACH form, which I'll pass out here in a minute.
Okay.
Or thanks for buying us all a nice dinner. Landon. Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions or comments?
No, good job, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, legal update. Dan, do you have anything for us?
I don't, but I'm happy to answer any questions or anything you guys might have.
No, I just wanted to mention, you know, earlier when we were talking about the housing thing, I think it's important that you are kept in the loop, and I think Lex will, as this develops on, and there's different requirements for the town. I would like you to give us your input on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys have a great group there, and I'm happy to help however I can.
All right. Any questions? Any questions for Dan? All right, thank you, Dan. Mayor trustee reports. Any trustees have any trustees?
I was reading a novel today, and I came across a quote with all the craziness that has been occurring. And I'm gonna read it to you. It's not pointed at anyone, it's just, it's a quote by Martin Luther King. Nothing is in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Ponder on that, because I have.
Okay,
Thanks.
trustee Woods?
I just got back from a couple week vacation. And I went to Utah, Idaho, and Montana. And you normally think it's really dry here, we're in the drought. It is so much worse than those other states. I mean, it is just, Idaho is just desperately dry. All the fields for miles and miles are just brown everywhere. I was out in the desert, I camped out in the desert for a couple nights in Utah, and I mean, there's usually still animals and sagebrush and stuff in the desert, it's all dead. I mean, in Montana, they sold me a 5-day out-of-state fishing license. And right after I bought it, the guy said, you know, all the rivers and streams in the state are closed to fishing because of the drought.
So why did they sell it to you?
He told me a lake I can hike up to. But, you know, I mean, this drought is serious business, and I think we're bad, but boy, they're so much worse off.
Yeah, well, so that dry too, they probably have fire dams.
So,
They probably have fire dams as well, so that dry.
it's everywhere.
Okay,
Even in
thank
the
you.
desert.
Alright. Anything? Well, I don't really have anything to report, other than, I was in that Recontend meeting and they approved the grant for the playground unanimously. And they had nice comments, and I too want to say thank you to Christie for her work on it. Alright, we'll move on to correspondence received, I see none. We have no additions to the agenda, and so we can wrap up with our one action item of the evening. And it's discussion and possible action to approve ordinance 2025-4, code enforcement and administrative citations. We discussed this earlier. I would entertain a motion.
He was looking at you, Nathan.
I motion to approve the ordinance for code enforcement and administrative citations.
2025-04.
Second.
Motion in a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
No,
no, Weast,
Yes.
and Roberts.
Yes. Nothing else on our agenda for this evening, the meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Bye,
night.
everybody.